Of course, it is not so much the volume of food that is important for the brain, but the variety of food. The thing is that neurons form and destroy synapses, form and destroy processes throughout their entire lives. Neurons are generally very voracious. The body is designed in such a way that at the moment you eat, only what is needed at that moment is extracted from the food. Therefore, it will not work to charge up for a long time, like a battery, and then discharge. You still need to eat a little bit of something all the time. Lunch, breakfast, and dinner are still necessary. Now the composition of food. The thing is that the brain, the main consumables, are glucose, that is, sugar. In other words, these are electrolyte solutions, and in large quantities, since signals will not pass otherwise or will be difficult, and a huge number of various proteins and lipids, from which those very synapses and processes will be built, that is, for the construction of protein-lipid membranes. What should be observed? Food, first and foremost, should be as varied as possible and not as abundant as is traditionally believed. That is, you need to load up on plant-based animal proteins, not much, but varied. You need to load up on lipids of both animal and plant origin, and the most varied ones, starting from meat, boiled pork, lard, salmon, etc., and pump up on electrolytes. That is, what should you do? Of course, you need these electrolytes. How do we usually pump up? This is tea with various carbohydrates, for example, with marmalade. But this is not enough. The fact is that in such compounds as tea, we have very few minerals and electrolytes. You need to partially use highly mineralized waters. But there is a danger that concrementogenesis will begin already in the kidneys, so you need to do this carefully and in very measured doses. That is, the main task is not to overdo it, and so watch the variety of food, that is, numerous and diverse marine invertebrates, salmon, aged cognac and other disgraces will help your brain. But the most important thing is for it to rest. And in those moments when it does not rest, for it to work. The best way to restore performance is to use the brain. But for this you need to feed it,